And now, Mike's Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, I start every show with a little rant, usually NFL related, usually sports related, but today, this rant has got me fired up. This rant it's geared toward personal life, right? So guys, as you guys know, we recently just purchased a house. We go from a half-acre lot, we go to six acres. We go from maintaining a 2,000 square foot house to a 2,000 square foot house to a 2,500 square foot house. We have upgraded in our lives. And in that life of upgrades, we got a new lawnmower. We got a Club Cadet lawnmower. Okay? I bought it around July 4th. July 4th weekend, I got the nice mower in. I was excited. I was mowing it for the last 3 weeks. It's been amazing. However, Sunday when I'm mowing grass, it randomly just stops. No longer goes forward. Whatever, right? I looked at it. I mean, I'm not a mechanically inclined person by any stretch of the imagination, but I have common sense. Common sense tells me that all the belts are intact. It's in gear. They're like it just doesn't work. Long story short, it's underneath warranty for 30 days. I take it back to Home Depot today. Get a brand new one. I had to rent a trailer from Home Depot. There's $100, right? I had to drive back and forth 6 times. There's $70 in like gas. And then bada bing, bada boom, I'm mowing grass. Everything's hunky-dory. And then all of a sudden the lawnmower just starts blowing out white smoke, burning some oil. Then it backfires and then it no longer runs anymore. Guys, I don't get it. When did the world come to where, like, you know what? Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters, and like it's just like, hey, we're not going to give a shit about what kind of product we put out there. Now, I'm not blaming Home Depot. Home Depot does not build Club Cadets. And honestly, I'm not blaming Club Cadet either. I'm blaming Kawasaki. Because that's a Kawasaki engine on that Club Cadet. It is a Japanese engine on that Club Cadet. So Japanese, build better products at the end of the day. Come on, man. Like, do something. That's all I ask. Make me a little happy. Do what you gotta do. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour, guys, and welcome to Man Hour NFL Talk, your go-to spot for live, raw, and uncut NFL talk. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Before we dive into today's action, guys, head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the exclusive merchandise page, guys. Check out the blog section and stay up to date on everything what we're doing over there. But most importantly, guys, the NFL Pick'ems are now over there. So if you head over to manhourradio.com, click on NFL Pick'em, free entry, bada bing, bada boom. You can win some da-da-da-da bills, y'all, for absolutely free. All 18 weeks are up there. So, guys, come back every Wednesday night, pick your picks, bada bing, bada boom, get a chance to win some free da-da-da-da bills, y'all. And, guys, we do have a live leaderboard. So as you get those wins, as you get those losses, that leaderboard will update. So there's no shady business happening, right? But guys, there's even more. There's even more. If you want to be like my man, Casey Morgan, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. That is our members-only community where you get free entry plus 2 picks into those NFL weekly picks. You get the exclusive merchandise. You get extra giveaways. You get access to the live extra streams as well, a.k.a. the afternoon drive that only our Pigskin Pundits get. So, you guys, if you want the full Man Hour experience, sign up and join. the squad. So guys, this is a live interactive show, so be sure to comment down below. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and your hottest of the hottest takes, because we all about that conversation, baby. We all about that conversation, just like about my man Casey Morgan's in the chat. He says the Ravens, that's right, the Ravens will be winning the AFC North. So guys, we are covering the AFC North today, so be like Casey, guys, and get your vote down below. And we got my man Derek in the chat as well. He says, what up, man hour? What's up, Derek? Derek's over there in Vegas. He's probably dying in that heat. Guys, we're dying over here. It's like 96 degrees here in like Indiana. It's dying. It's so muggy. It's like 103 heat index. Derek's in Vegas like, you think that's heat? You think that's heat? Come to Vegas. But it's the dry heat, Derek. It's the dry heat. Man, shh. The dry heat will still get that ass burnt, baby. But guys, it is time to break down the AFC North. We broke it down a couple months ago. The way too early win-loss predictions for the Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and of course the Cincinnati Bengals. But now it is time to put some numbers to paper. It is time to officially put it down because, guys, we are damn near in August. We are 2 days away from NFL preseason's kickoff. And guys, it is time to break down the AFC North. And where we're going to start is we are going to start off with the one and only Pittsburgh Steelers. And guys, tonight we're taking a bold look into the future. We are taking a bold look at this win-loss prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025 season. And yeah, I know it's still a little bit early in the offseason buildup, but it is that this team has flipped the script in the AFC. Let me run it down for you guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, could be the most dangerous team in the AFC. 2 months ago, just flashback to May, early June, guys, I had them going 9-8. Good enough to sneak into the playoffs, but they're still pretty average. But that was before all the fireworks took place. Since then, since we broke down the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 months ago, guys, George Pickens has been traded. Get out of town. See you later, like alligator. They brought in DK Metcalf, but most importantly, finally got their guy at quarterback, Aaron freaking Rodgers, baby. He is be wearing the black and gold all season long. Then when we talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, we are going to be talking a lot about their ceiling and, of course, a lot about their floor. But I want you to give you guys a little bit of spoiler alert because their ceiling with Aaron Rodgers just went way up in 2025. Earlier, we had about 9 to 10 wins max, guys. Now we're talking 13, 14 win territory if everything clicks in Pittsburgh. But let's not get ahead of ourselves today. Let's slow it down, baby. And I'm giving you the locked-in projections of me, my hour buck, over there on the old Twitter machine, guys. Let's break it down week by week. And where do I officially have the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2025? Now, as you guys know, the NFL season is broken down into 4 quarters. We have the first quarter, we got the second quarter, we got the third quarter, we got the fourth quarter, right? With that being said, weeks 1 through 4 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, they got a lot of early tests and a lot of momentum shifts. In week 1, we have Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. Aaron Rodgers playing his old team. Justin Fields playing his old team at MetLife Stadium in New York. But Justin Fields and that defense come out swinging. And Aaron Rodgers struggles in his debut behind a still gelling offensive line. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers lose to the New York Jets opening week 1 at MetLife Stadium. But then week number 2, back in the Steel City, and Aaron Rodgers gets welcomed home with open arms and says, lead us to the promised land, as they welcome the Seattle Seahawks into town. And the defense rallies behind Aaron Rodgers, and they rattle Sam Darnold early and often. It's a bounce back week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they get the first win of the season over the Seattle Seahawks. And then week number 3, they're back on the road, taking on another AFC East opponent in the New England Patriots, guys. This is going to be a tough road game. And I think the Patriots defense finds a way to confuse Aaron Rodgers just enough and forces some mistakes to give the Pittsburgh Steelers the second loss of the season. Not a good look of what we're looking for, but it's all about momentum because week 4, they do travel overseas to play the Minnesota Vikings in Germany. This is a neutral field, but considered this is a home game technically for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Pittsburgh Steelers experience and physicality travels well over to Berlin. Rodgers puts on a show overseas, and they get a beatdown victory over the Minnesota Vikings. Because let's just be honest, Aaron Rodgers does not lose to the NFC North this season. In week number 5, they're in a good spot for a rest, coming back over from Germany after a 2-2 start, and Aaron Rodgers gets that extra week to finally sync up with DK Metcalf. So, guys, for the first 5 weeks, I have them as a record at 2-2. They got some early bumps, but the talent is showing. Aaron Rodgers is starting to heat up, look like MVP Aaron Rodgers, and that defense is holding strong. This team is starting to find the identity. And then week 6 through 9, this is when they start rolling into form. This is when things start to click and everything's to the moon, baby, because week number 6, they're back at home, taking on the crappy Cleveland Browns. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers take care of business at home. Aaron Rodgers dials up a few deep shots, and the defense shuts down Kenny Pickett and the Cleveland Browns. This is an easy win for the Pittsburgh Steelers in week 6. And then week number 7, this is a short week. Back from a bye week, then an emotional win over the Cleveland Browns, and they play a Thursday night game taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. Short work week, hostile road game, and Joe Burrow picks apart the secondary just enough to give them yet another loss. But things start to turn around a little bit. Like a little bit because week 8, they are back home. We are back home. This is a throwback game. The Green Bay Packers are wearing their throwback jerseys. The Pittsburgh Steelers are wearing their throwback jerseys, and Aaron Rodgers plays his old team, and you know he has his game circled. This is a statement win for Aaron Rodgers in front of a fired up, rowdy Pittsburgh Steelers crowd. This is a huge win over the Green Bay Packers, and he says, "Ha, I told you so." And then week number 9, back at home again. The home stretch will continue for the next few weeks, and they continue strong. The defense rattles Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts, and the running game dominates. This is another win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So through the second part of the season, guys, through week 9, I have them as a 6-3 record. We're talking, right? Things are starting to click. Aaron Rodgers is locked in. DK Metcalf is making defensive pay, and this defense is still elite. The Steelers are starting to emerge as a legit AFC threat. Keep that in mind, a legit AFC threat. But weeks 10 through 14, this is where the gauntlet begins. This is where the not-so-easy games are no longer there, because week 10, they travel to LA to take on the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers get revenge in last year's loss. Tough road environment. This is a loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers when they travel to the West Coast to play LA. Week 11, they're back at home, take on the Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers do get even. Aaron Rodgers does outduel Joe Burrow and silence the critics, but they do get the win. But it's a battle. It is a battle-tested win. We're talking like a 35-32 type of shootout game. And then week 12, they travel to Chicago. I think Aaron Rodgers still owns Chicago, and the Pittsburgh Steelers get even. This might be a trap game in some people's eyes, maybe, but the Pittsburgh Steelers experience keeping them focused. This is a win for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Chicago Bears. And then week 13, they're back at home. Back at home, taking on the Buffalo Bills. Put some respect on their name, and this one is a war. This is for top of the AFC, I think. This game will determine who wins the AFC, in my opinion. But Josh Allen outguns Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter, giving the Pittsburgh Steelers yet another loss. And then week 14, they travel to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens, a classic AFC North brawl, and Lamar Jackson makes just enough plays to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, giving them yet another loss on the season. So through 3 quarters of the season, through week 14, the Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting at 8-5. They're still in a strong spot, but the AFC, guys, is going to be crowded. The playoff push is officially on, and every win matters from here. And then week 15 through 18, I'm going to classify this as the push to the finish, right? Because week 15, they do play the Miami Dolphins at home. Cold December game in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers loves it, and Tua doesn't. Miami Dolphins does it. Tyreek Hill does it. They want to get out. Fix the camera, please. They get the win. Week 16, they do travel to Detroit. But Dan Campbell's squad is a machine. And in that dome, They're nearly unstoppable. Pittsburgh Steelers lose to the Detroit Lions. And then week number 17 at the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns take advantage of the home crowd and split the series. An ugly one here, but they get you a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then week number 18, they're back at home, taking on the Baltimore Ravens, and everything is on the line. Playoff seeding, pride, momentum, all the good stuff. And Aaron Rodgers steps up in a huge way and gets a final win of the season. So, guys, with the final recap, guys, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers finished the 2025 season 10-7. A solid record, a playoff team? Absolutely. But let's not ignore the upside. With Aaron Rodgers underneath center and DK Metcalf in the mix, this team has the ceiling to get 13 or 14 wins if things go their way, if everything clicks. The floor, however, it's around 9 wins. Still a very, very respectable 9-win season, which they're still sitting 2 months ago. But now there's real hope in Pittsburgh. So the question for you guys down in the comments below, are the Pittsburgh Steelers truly back with Aaron Rodgers at the helm? Or do you still believe they're a tier below the AFC East or the elites? Let me know, guys, down in the comments below. Remember, this is a live interactive show. I do see all your comments. Chuck Wagon, suck a dick, bitch. And then we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. As this is a live interactive show, guys, let's get into it. Alpha Rob is in the chat. Let me fix this camera. Why is it not auto focusing? There we go. There we go. All right. What's up, Alpha Rob? I see you, big guy. And James Frank says, let me be clear about this. Let me be perfectly clear, says James Frank. The Pittsburgh Steelers suck. James, do the Pittsburgh Steelers suck because you are a Browns fan? Or do they legitimately suck because they have Aaron Rodgers at the helm? Or do they suck because of something else? Why do the Pittsburgh Steelers suck? Right? Why do the Pittsburgh Steelers suck? That is the question. Alpha Rob says the Pittsburgh Steelers go 12-5. Woof, baby. Slow it down, Alpha Rob. Alpha Rob is jumping on that Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon. So, Alpha Rob, let me ask you this. Is it because of the defense? Or is it because of Aaron Rodgers? Why do you because if you guys remember 2 months ago, I think we all pretty much had them as an 8-9, potentially 10-win team at the max. Now you're rolling out with 12 wins? Whew, that's tough. That is tough, but I like it. I like it. Casey Morgan says, I feel that Pittsburgh is getting the Jets version of Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I hope you are wrong, Casey, because I have kind of been on this Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon here for a little while, and I love their defense. I love their running game, and I do like Mike Tomlin, but you might be right. Aaron Rodgers is old. He did try to rush that Achilles injury, come back a little too much, I do believe, but we will see, right? We will see very, very soon. He probably won't play much preseason, if any. So we'll definitely have to wait till September 12th or whatever it is to see. James Frank says, Myles Garrett and the rookie Mason Graham eat the old head alive. We will see. This is one game that I am truly looking forward to. As a fan of the NFL, I am looking forward to the Browns versus Steelers this season. I am looking to see if Aaron Rodgers, how he gets acclimated into this rivalry, because we've seen Myles Garrett take Mason Rudolph's helmet off and smash him in. Is he going to disrespect Aaron Rodgers like that too? I don't know, baby. I'd love to see it though. Alpha Rob says their defense is good. At last, their offense is a little better. Okay. Alpha Rob saying Aaron Rodgers improves that Steelers offense just a tittle bit to get those 2 extra wins. Okay, Chuck Wagon says this is the dumbest sports show ever created by a Queef fan. Chuck is a little bit wagon because you got a big boy in your profile picture. Who puts big boy in the profile picture? Chuck, come on, man, you're better than that. James Frank says, then go watch something else, old Chuck. It's about your opinion. Love it, James. Love it. Chuck says, cannot wait for this turd to do his hate-filled Broncos analyst and continue to think they'll be 4-13. You know what, Chuck? I'm pretty sure I never said the Broncos would be 4-13 ever. Now, the Raiders, 100%. And I was exactly right about the Raiders last season. So don't shoot the messenger, Chuck. But the truth of the matter is I've been right more times than not. But we'll be doing your Denver Broncos, Chuck, tomorrow. We'll be doing the Denver Broncos tomorrow. And he says, yes, I did. Okay, Chuck, if I said the Denver Broncos will be 4-13, bring your receipts. Because I am looking at my past way too early schedule. Let's see here, past too early schedule. The Denver Broncos, I had them at 7-10. 7-10, way too early. But we'll see. We'll see how they do. Doofus said the Colts would beat the Broncos. We'll see. We will see. We'll see. Da-dum. All right, guys. So that is that is it for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is it for your comments. So let's go ahead and move on to the Cleveland Browns. Guys, the Cleveland Browns is a team that is it's chaotic. Because as we break down their win-loss predictions, guys, this is the most chaotic team in the NFL. It is the Cleveland Browns. And two months ago, back in May and June, I had them as a 7-win team. But a lot has changed for them and not for the better. Now, let me be crystal clear right off the top. I never thought Deshaun Watson was going to be the leader of the quarterback in 2025. Not with his injury history, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I did think that Nick Chubb was going to come back to Cleveland. I did think that Myles Garrett was going to stay in Cleveland. I did think that the Cleveland Browns had a really good defense. But ever since then, I'm starting to question a lot of things. Now, I do think Kenny Pickett will be QB1 for the Cleveland Browns come week 1. And they're going to win, and Kenny Pickett will win this 4-man wild battle over Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. I do think he will be the QB1. Pickett had the most to gain, and this was supposed to be his shot at redemption after flaming out in Pittsburgh. But here we are. A shaky quarterback room. The wide receiver group is well below average, and their two most expensive extensions handed out to Myles Garrett and Jerry Jeudy, the one who asked for a trade, the other one has not produced much of anything. So guys, let's not sugarcoat this. The ceiling for the Cleveland Browns is 7 wins. If everything goes perfectly, if Kenny Pickett plays out of his mind, if the defense is locked down, 7 wins. But the floor, it could get ugly, and it could be a long, long season. 2 wins. But guys, let's walk through the schedule and see what I think the Cleveland Browns will end up in 2025. Now, weeks 1 through 4, guys, no mercy. They have no mercy out of the gate, and they get steamrolled early, and they get steamrolled often. Because week number 1, they're at home, take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Burrow's Bengals walk into Cleveland and flat out dominate. There's no question about it. They come in there, and they dominate. A loss. Week number 2, they travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Lamar makes it look easy. The Browns defense is gassed early, and they get rolled. Yet another loss. Week number 3, they're back at home. Take on the NFC North Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love takes another step forward, and the Browns just can't keep up. Jordan Love looking like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL playing the Cleveland Browns. Great defense, air quotes there. Yet another loss. And then week number 4, they travel to Detroit to take on the Detroit Lions. Campbell's Lions are simply more physical, more talented, and a lot better coached. No contest. Starting the season off 0-4. 0-4 through the first 4 weeks, guys. The Browns are already in a free fall. Quarterback instability is already showing. The offense is stalling, and there's no identity forming on either side of the ball. Maybe insert Joe Flacco at this point. Maybe insert Shedeur Sanders at this point. Maybe insert Dylan Gabriel. Anybody but Kenny Pickett, because I think in week 5, when they do play the Minnesota Vikings in the United Kingdom, neutral fields, guys, it does to the Cleveland Browns a little bit of an edge. Because if you flash back a couple years ago, right, the Minnesota Vikings were a flailing team. They were 500 at best. They go over to Germany or Spain or wherever they played. They come back and they rolled. Actually, it was the Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry. The Buffalo Bills were a 500 team. They go to overseas early in the season. They come back and they get things right and they start to roll. The Cleveland Browns may not do that, but they do get the win over the Minnesota Vikings. The defense steps up because, let's just be honest, the offense doesn't show up overseas game, but the defense always does well. Cleveland Browns win week 5 versus the Minnesota Vikings. And then week number 6, no bye week for you. You go to Pittsburgh and you play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers in the black and gold, forget about it. Cleveland Browns lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, hungover like jet lagged, etc., whatever you want to call it. Week number 7, they are back at home, take on the Miami Dolphins. Finally a home game where everything starts to click. The defense shows up, whoever the quarterback is does well, and the Browns sneak one out. Give me the win. But then week number 8, long live the glory, because it doesn't happen when they travel to New England to take on the Patriots. The Patriots out game plan the Browns, and another flat performance by the Cleveland Browns. So guys, through the first 8 weeks, guys, they are 2-6. 2 wins to keep hope alive, but that's just fool's gold, guys. The offense is inconsistent, and nobody in the quarterback room is taking command. Kenny Pickett had the edge, but he's not separating himself either. Insert probably a rookie quarterback at this time, because week number 9 is time to recruit, and it is time to enjoy the bye week and insert new quarterback. Because come week 10, it does not get any easier, because they travel to New York to take on the Jets. The Jets even smothers the offense, and the Browns can't get anything going. Give me yet another loss. Then week number 11, they play division foe Baltimore Ravens at home, and the Ravens complete the sweep. I don't care if it's Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, or Deshaun Watson. It doesn't matter. This is a loss. The Baltimore Ravens are just much too good. And then week number 12, they potentially could get a win because they traveled to Vegas to take on the Raiders. A terrible Raiders team, but traveling west, they get punched in the mouth, and the Raiders win easy. You heard it here first. The Raiders win easy. That tasted weird coming out of my mouth. But then week 13, they're back at home, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. This is yet another complete mismatch, and the San Fran puts on a clinic. Brock Purdy looks like a top 5 quarterback versus a great Browns defense, and it is just a bloodbath. So, guys, through week 13, they're 2-10. Any playoff hopes are dead. Questions about coaching, quarterback development, and overall direction are louder than ever, a.k.a. fire Kevin Stefanski right now. Get Joe Flacco out of town. Get Kenny Pickett out of town. Do something, because there is no fight left in this team. And week 14, they do show a little bit of fight, a little bit of goo-rah for the intern head coach as they play the Tennessee Titans at home. This is one of the few winnable games left, and the Browns grind one out. They do beat the Tennessee Titans come week 14, but they're playing in the wrong hands because they're playing with the first overall pick, and now they just lost that first overall pick. But week 15, they do travel to Chicago, and the Bears front is no joke. The Browns fold in the cold, and they lose to the Chicago Bears. Week 16, Buffalo Bills. At least they're at home. The Buffalo Bills steamrolled Cleveland in every phase. This game was over by halftime. Week 17, they are taking on division rivalry at home, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Browns stealing for pride. Give me the dub. Then week 18, they're at Cincinnati. No miracle ending here. The Bengals dominant, and yet another loss. So, guys, I do have the Cleveland Browns finishing the 2025 season at 4-13. Kenny Pickett may have won the job by week 1, but no one really won. The wide receiver room is unproven. The defense outside of Myles Garrett couldn't carry this team week to week. And if you're Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski, you better be preparing for a full rebuild or find a new job, and fast. So, guys, let me ask you guys down in the comments below. Should the Browns stick it with Kenny Pickett or give him another year after this 4-13 disaster? Or is it time to hit the reset position again at quarterback position in Cleveland? So, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, this is a live interactive show. We're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com. So let's get into your discussion and see your comments down below. James Frank says he is just mad because he gave Sutton all that money and let the great Jerry Jeudy go. And Jerry Jeudy just got paid in Cleveland. What was it, like a $60-70 million deal? Not too bad. And James Frank says, my heart is still broken because Nick Chubb is gone. Nick Chubb is now in Houston, and with Joe Mixon out, guys, hey, Nick Chubb could be the starter. James Frank says, Jerry Jeudy just had his best season since being in the NFL, was 6th in most receiving yards. It also helps when it was the Browns versus the Broncos. He had like 500 yards in that game, right? That definitely helps if I remember correctly. Alpha Rob says they'll be 5-12. They'll be a top 10 pick. Do you think they'll take a quarterback? That is tough. But yeah, they do take a quarterback. They are probably taken for Arch Manning at this point, right? James Frank says, with Kenny Pickett being injured, I think that makes it easier for him to be cut. I think it will be Joe and the two rookies battling for the backup position. Shador will be starting by week 6, though. James, stay tuned for Factor Crap because we're going to be talking about Kenny Pickett. Derek asks, who is their running back? It is Jermone Ford, I believe his name is now. He is the back that took most of the snaps last season when Nick Chubb didn't come back till like week 12 or whatever it was. So Ford is a good running. They still have a pretty decent running back room. Do not get that twisted. But losing Nick or letting Nick Chubb walk away was kind of shocking to me, honestly. Chuck said they are here to give you shit and up your visibility. Chuck, we'll talk about your Denver Broncos all day long. Because Chuck sounds like a Mark fan, guys. James Strait says Derek, Jerome Ford, and Dalen Sampson. That's right. Chuck says the Broncos don't need Jerry Jeudy when you have a top 3 defense. Might want to delete your crap takes. I don't delete anything. This is live, raw, uncut. I stand by what I say always. And Chuck, you better go to our news feed, buddy. You better go to our news feed right here at youtube.com/man hour. And probably every other news that has broken is a Denver Broncos injury. Denver Broncos injury. Denver Broncos injury. Denver Broncos injury. There's been a lot of Denver Broncos injuries. Don't shoot the messenger, but it is what it is. But guys, let's move on to the Cincinnati Bengals. And let's take a hard look at the Cincinnati Bengals and laying out their 2025 win-loss projection. And trust me, this is not the same team we've seen the past few years. Guys, for the first time in a long time, the Bengals will do something that they have done, that they have struggled to do consistently, and that is win early. Guys, for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, ever since Joe Burrow has been in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals have started 0-2. That has been the norm. And then they got to go off late and make a nice, strong playoff push and get knocked out by the Denver Broncos in the end. But usually it's a slow start followed by annual too little, too late surge, but not this year, guys. Not this year. Let's be real. I have them starting off season 2-0. I had the Bengals start off 2-0. What? But let's be real, guys. 2 months ago, I had the Cincinnati Bengals as an 8-win team. But with Shamir Stewart finally signing his rookie deal and starting to get meaningful reps, this has changed a lot of things. And if Trey Hendrickson plays, add a couple more wins on top of that. But I'll tell you right now, if no Trey Hendrickson, no wins. That's how important he is to this defense. Defense is shit, and he is very, very important. But when we look at the Cincinnati Bengals, guys, I see a floor and I see a ceiling with them. The floor for the Cincinnati Bengals is 5 wins. If they struggle, everything will fall apart and it'll be a nice, nasty fall to the bottom. And if everything clicks, I see them as a 10-win team. I see that's their ceiling if everything falls into place. So let's walk through their 2025 schedule and break it down week by week. In the first quarter of the season, guys, I am going to call this the strong start. We're going to call this a strong start because week 1, they finally get a win week 1 at Cleveland, taking on the Cleveland Browns. Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shador Sanders, it doesn't matter, guys. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals take care of business on the road, and they get the dub. And then week number 2, they're at home opener, taking on the new-look Jacksonville Jaguars. And in Cincinnati, rise the momentum to go 2-0 for the first time since Joe Burrow's career. What is going on? People in Cincinnati are on cloud 9. They're already preparing for the Super Bowl parade, but slow it down, baby, because week 3 they head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, and this is a letdown spot. Tough travel game, the Vikings out-execute, and they give the Bengals the first loss of the season. And then week number 4, they travel to Denver, Colorado to take on Chuck's Broncos, and Sean Payton's crew is back on track, and the Bengals stumble yet again, giving them their second straight loss of the season. So, guys, through the first 4 weeks, I had the Cincinnati Bengals at a 2-2 record. Very familiar territory, but new territory as they did start the season off 0-2. It is a rough back-to-back road stretch games that bring them back down to earth, but week 5, mid-season recovery mode, right? Because week 5, they do play the Detroit Lions at home. Now, the Lions are physical. The Lions are playoff tested, and this will feel like a Super Bowl type of game, potentially a Super Bowl preview, and the Cincinnati Bengals just cannot match it up front. Because when you fight fire with fire, the Detroit Lions will win 9 out of 10 times. Give me a third straight loss for the Bengals. And it is not getting much easier because week 6, they do travel to Lambeau Field to take on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay surprises teams at home. The Bengals lose another one, giving them the 4th straight loss of the season. But then week number 7, they finally get back to home, and finally get a much-needed divisional win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a good momentum win because as things start to click and things start to roll, because week 8, they're back at home yet again, taking on the New York Football Jets. The Jets have too many questions with that offense. Justin Fields, is he okay? Is the defense, are they top-notch still? The Bengals take care of business in a shootout, and they win. Give them the second win in a row. And then week number 9, through their home stretch, 3rd home game in a row, they take on the Chicago Bears, and they have found their mojo yet again. The Bengals rolled to 5-4 heading into the bye week as they beat down the Chicago Bears. So guys, through the first 9 weeks, they were 5-4. After the 3-game skid, guys, the Cincinnati Bengals rights the ship. The defense steps up. Stewart and Trey are dominating. Joe Burrow finds rhythm, and we see Shamir Stewart starting to be flashes of being maybe potentially defensive rookie of the year. But then week 10 through 14 is a tough stretch. It is a tough stretch for them because week 10, they do have the bye week, but then coming out of the bye week, week 11, they do travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. This is a tough divisional game, and Aaron Rodgers gets the better of Joe Burrow this time around, giving the Cincinnati Bengals a loss coming out of the bye week. Then week 12, they're back at home, taking on the New England Patriots, and the Bengals beat the rebuilding Patriots squad to get the dub. But back-to-back losses, back-to-back road games versus the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills is tough because Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens defense give the Cincinnati Bengals problems. That's a beatdown. Then week 14 at Orchard Park in the Buffalo, take on the Bills. Cold weather, it doesn't really matter, but the Buffalo Bills are a playoff caliber opponent. The Bengals fall short, aka Super Bowl caliber, I should say. So through week 14, they're sitting at 6-7. They're still in the hunt, but the playoff road is getting tight. This defense needs to step up big in the final stretch, and they will decide everything, and that is exactly what they do. They do close out the season strong. Week 15, they're taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This is a revenge game. The Bengals even the series, and they get the win. I just want to pause here for a second, guys. I hate these back-to-back divisional games. I know they're not back-to-back, but you play the Ravens, you play the Bills, and then you play the Ravens again. It's stupid. I digress. Week 16, they're back at home yet again, taking on the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins struggle outdoors in the cold, and the Bengals capitalize, getting yet another dub. And then week 17, they're at home yet again, taking on the Arizona Cardinals. A trap game? Maybe, but this one not in the late season. The Bengals lock it in and get a win over the Arizona Cardinals. And then week 18, they take on the Cleveland Browns, and they finish the season just like they started, beating Cleveland with another win. So, guys, I think the Cincinnati Bengals finish the season at 10-7. That's a 10-win team that could be hosting a wild card game if the tiebreakers go their way. That's not true. That's not true. They won't win the division. Don't get it twisted. Stewart signing mattered. Defensive rookie of the year potentially. The defensive front held up. Joe Burrow looked like Joe Burrow late last season, and if Trey Hendrickson is on the field consistently, this is a sneaky good playoff threat. So guys, in the comments below, do you think the Bengals have the defensive firepower to get past teams like Baltimore or Buffalo in the postseason, or is their window quietly closing? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here at youtube.com/man-hour. This is a live interactive show, so comment down below with your thoughts and the Bengals outlooks. Let's get into the comments down below. Alpha Rob says they'll be 9-8. They're going to lose to some average teams because their defense can't stop anyone. And Alpha Rob, this is where the floor and ceiling conversations gets up with the Cincinnati Bengals. Because if their defense shown what they did second part of the season, if that defense shows up all season long, they are 11, 12-win team. If the defense of the first half shows up, they're a 4-win team. They're not very good. Old man Rivers in the chat.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
He says, which team are we on? We on the Cincinnati Bengals, brother. Thanks, Derek, for that. Thank you for that. Old man Rivers says 6-11 for the Bengals. Oof. Oof. Somebody better not tell Kaylee that, because Old man Rivers might be in the doghouse. James Frank says, I think they win 8 games. Cincinnati doesn't sweep the Browns either. They suck against the AFC North when Joe Burrow has been their quarterback. That is very, 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 very true. That is very true. Old member says, what is up with Trey Hendrickson? From what I just saw right before we went live, it is reported that he will be at training camp tomorrow. Now, will he actually be at camp? That is a question for another day. We don't really know. We will know that for tomorrow. But as of right now, there's no contract. They are fighting over guaranteed money as of right now, but we will see. We'll see. Derek says the game in the division can be a fist fight. And you are 100% correct. 100% correct. The AFC North is always a fist fight. There's no easy games. Hell, look back at that Bengals-Ravens game. Was it Thursday night game? Instant classic, right? Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball. Everybody thought the Cincinnati Bengals were going to win that game. He throws the game-winning touchdown. Like, what? It is awesome. It is awesome. Casey says Cincinnati will be 3rd in the league with the Browns in 4th. Pittsburgh 2nd, Ravens 1st. I like where your head's at, Casey. I like where your head is at. Speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, guys, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens as we break down the 2025 Baltimore Ravens and projecting every win and loss for their season. And I'll tell you guys right now, this might be one of the toughest teams in football to predict. Yes. Because 2 months ago, guys, I had them penciling as a 13-win team. Now, a little bit less than that. Not because of who they are, but because of what other teams are becoming, a.k.a. the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Steelers steal one late, and that could be the difference between the first-round bye and a road wildcard matchup. With that being said, guys, I think the ceiling for the Baltimore Ravens this season is 15 wins. They play a lot of winnable games. And most of their big AFC matchups are on the road. So if Lamar Jackson shows up in those environments and if this defense keeps under 20, the sky is the limit for the Baltimore Ravens. But the floor could be a 10-win team, could be a 9-win team. If Lamar Jackson does not dominate the NFC teams like he has been, like he's used to, and if they fall short in key road matchups, this could be a long, frustrating season for Baltimore Ravens fans. So, guys, let's dive into it week by week for the Baltimore Ravens because week 1 through 4, guys, I classify this as fighting their identity. Who are they going to be in 2025? Are they going to be the Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson show, or are they going to be the Lamar Jackson and D-Hop show? And week 1, there's a power struggle. Who is going to take center fold? Is it going to be the receiving game, the passing game, or is it going to be the rushing game? And when they travel to Buffalo, it is a tough way to start the season because Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills make a statement. The Buffalo Bills, guys, are here to prove many, many points this season. And opening up with the Buffalo Bills, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, is not fun because it is a tough loss. A tough loss at Buffalo come week 1. But then week 2, they're at home, taking on a not-so-good Cleveland Browns team. This is a bounce-back week against the Cleveland team, still searching for their identity. And I think they go back to what the well is, and that's run the ball, and they do beat the Cleveland Browns. Week number 3, they play the Detroit Lions at home. Guys, Lamar Jackson is like 41-1 versus NFC teams. He just does not lose to NFC teams. And the prediction listed, let's go ahead and call this one a close home win. I think they beat the Detroit Lions at home. But then week 4, they travel to Arrowhead Stadium. They travel to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Arrowhead, primetime, Patrick Mahomes. Early in the season, the Ravens fall short, giving them a loss. So, guys, through the first 4 weeks, I had the Ravens sitting at a 2-2 record. An up and down start, but there's nothing to panic about. They have losses to arguably 2 of the best teams in the NFL, and they have beaten arguably one of the best teams in the NFL as well. Wins over the division rivals as well, and NFC contenders keep their season balanced, right? But then week 5 through 10, this is when the heater starts. This is when they start to get hot. This is when everybody's like, oh shit, here they go. Because week number 5, Houston Texans coming to town. It seems like we have seen this battle more than not. The Houston Texans take on the Baltimore Ravens, and Lamar Jackson outduels CJ Stroud in a fun one to watch. They win this game. Week 6, LA Rams come into town. Baltimore Ravens control the game. They physicality wins this game, and Lamar Jackson continues his dominance over the NFC, giving them yet another win. Week 7, perfectly timed bye week after back-to-back home wins, catapulting them into yet another home game versus the Chicago Bears in another physical matchup. And the Ravens grind this one out. Derrick Henry could run for $150 in this game. Look out, baby. And then week number 9, the dominance continues. They travel down to Florida into Miami to take on the Dolphins. A huge win on the road, and a statement has been made because they just might put 70 or 80 points on the Miami Dolphins. It is going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly early and ugly often. And that momentum carries into week 10 when they travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. And Lamar Jackson shows out yet again, and the Ravens continue to roll. So through the first 10 weeks of the NFL season, guys, the Baltimore Ravens are 7-2. That's 5 straight wins out of the bye week. Lamar Jackson is back in the MVP talks, and the defense is clamping down, and the Baltimore Ravens are looking like the best team in the AFC, but the road stretch just isn't quite over yet. They continue to win because week number 11, they do travel to Cleveland. Same story as week 2. The Baltimore Ravens roll the Cleveland Browns yet again. Then week 12, New York Football Jets. The defense eats. Baltimore Ravens are hungry and they are well fed after this game. They dominate the New York Football Jets. Heading into week 13, Cincinnati Bengals coming to town, and this is where the NFC North gets real. But the Baltimore Ravens handle business yet again at home, giving them yet another win. Da Bills, y'all. They are rolling. They are the best team in the NFL. But everything starts coming crashing back down to reality because in week 14, they're back at home taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in this trap game. And the Pittsburgh Steelers pull off an upset with a gritty defensive performance, shutting down Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, breaking that 8-game winning streak. So, guys, through the first 14 weeks of the season, they're sitting at 10-3. Still firmly in the playoff picture. Matter of fact, they're probably in first place in the AFC at this particular point, but that Steelers loss is a gut punch. And there's one more road showdown looming that could shake up all the AFC seedings yet again. And then week 15, this is where things start to shake up. They travel to Cincinnati, and this one flips. The Cincinnati Bengals get the revenge in the late season classic, and the Bengals get the dub. Week 16, they're back at home taking on the Patriots. Baltimore Ravens bounce back in a dominant home win over the Patriots. Now, giving them the week 17, as the Packers might be frisky, but the Baltimore defense depth, but the Baltimore's depth shows in the late season, and they get the dub over the Green Bay Packers and continues the dominance over the NFC. But then week 18, the Steelers sweep Baltimore. Rodgers gets Lamar Jackson yet again. It's a tough finish to the season, but they end the season as a loss on the road versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if you guys hear that or not, but it's something over. But the Ravens guys finished the season at 12-5. It's a playoff team. This is a dangerous playoff team, and if they can just win one of those road games, they'll be hosting in January, not traveling. But guys, let me get down to the comments down below. But what makes or breaks this year is simple: is Lamar Jackson versus the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. If they can beat those two teams on the road, this is an automatic win. Now it's a coin flip. If Lamar Jackson does not dominate in those matchups and the defense slips up at all, this team could easily be back to 10-7 range, right? So let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys trust Lamar Jackson and this Ravens team to win on the road this season? Or are the Steelers and Bengals closing the gap in the AFC North? Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, live Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at YouTube.com. This is a live, interactive show, so comment down below your thoughts on the Ravens 2025 season. Alpha Rob says the Ravens will be 12-5. Henry won't have the season he had last season. Wide receivers are average, especially your guy, D-Hop Buck. D-Hop's not my guy. We broke up. We broke up. Old Man River says the Ravens will be 14-3. That's tough. That's a good season. That's a number 1 overall seed, I do believe. James Frank says it's the Ravens division. All the other teams are just fighting for the second place spot. I do concur with that. I agree with this 100%. And Old Man River says the Lions beat the Ravens. Old Man River, I understand you are a Detroit Lions fan. I understand you want your Lions to beat the Baltimore Ravens. But truth be told, Lamar Jackson is what? No, is it 41 or 31? And he has one loss versus the NFC ever. One loss. He just does not lose to the NFC teams. If Lamar Jackson was, or if the Baltimore Ravens were an NFC team, they would be consistently in the Super Bowl year after year after year. It is what it is. I see Laura's in the chat.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
Laura's a pigskin pun. What's up, Laura? You're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And James says, no way in hell do the Steelers sweep the Ravens. Didn't they sweep them last year? It's so, honestly, James, it seems like everybody in the AFC North always seems to split. I've never seen a sweep. Like, it's very, very rare that somebody sweeps in the AFC North. But I think this year we see something different. This year, I think I have faith in the Steelers. Come in, room 3022. Says Steelers sweep Baltimore. The one guy who doesn't underestimate Pittsburgh. Common. I've been on the Pittsburgh Steelers train for way too long. If you want to flashback to last season, I said Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl, baby. Now I started to back off that come playoff time. Like there'll probably be a one and done, whatever. But I have always had a soft spot in my heart for the Steelers, and I don't know why. Old Member says, I agree. Steelers do not sweep the Ravens. Y'all need to go to bed. It's happening, baby. It's happening. But Derek is spitting facts, guys. Derek is spitting facts. He says the Ravens stay healthy. The sky is the limit. That is the big key. Can Derrick Henry be 100% all season long? He took a beating last year. Let's just be honest. Lamar Jackson does have injury history. D-Hop is not D-Hop that we used to know down in Houston and Arizona, right? It is what it is. James says, just like you broke with the Cowboys, huh? I did break up with the Cowboys. Do you see the poster anywhere? No, nothing but Chiefs stuff now. Assholes. James says, I hope the Lions beat every AFC North team except, of course, my Browns. That would help your Browns a lot, James. That would help your Browns a lot. But, guys, let's get into the final thoughts of the AFC North. So, guys, let's recap of what we just went through. The Pittsburgh Steelers, guys, I think they finished 10-7. The addition of Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf gave them an extra win or two, giving them definitely a playoff berth and potentially a division championship. 2 months ago, guys, I had the Steelers were on the fringe of a 9-8 team, but potentially a losing team. But now with Aaron Rodgers underneath center and DK Metcalf in the building, the team's ceiling skyrockets. The defense is still elite. The offense has veteran leadership, and Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. 10 wins feels like the floor. And if Aaron Rodgers' experiments click, there could be a dark horse 13-14 wins. I could definitely see it. Now we looked at the Baltimore Ravens. I have them as a 12-5 team. They have a lot of big games on the road. They do have a very, very tough schedule yet again. Last year, they had a tough schedule. This year, they got an even tougher schedule. The Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs on the road sucks, especially in the first 4 weeks of the season, right? Now, guys, the Ravens are in that elite tier, but the road heavy schedule is no joke. If Lamar Jackson dominates like he used to, especially against the NFC North, against the NFC teams in general, 15 wins for the Baltimore Ravens is realistic. But they've shown late season vulnerabilities, and the Steelers could be their kryptonite yet again. The floor is 10 wins, and the ceiling is a top seed in the AFC. I do like the Baltimore Ravens in 2020-25 season. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, guys, I had their final record at 10-7. They finally start off hot. They start 2-0 for the first time in years, right? Stewart signed. Hendrickson could be signed. We don't know. Guys, this team is sneaky. This team is sneaky. They can be really, really good or really, really bad. But after a midseason slump, in my eyes, they catch fire down the stretch with 5 straight wins. Trey Hendrickson's status could swing a game or 2 or 3 with him healthy and Stewart locked in. This could be a 10-win playoff team. Without him, they drop to 5 to 6 wins easily. Consistency from the defense will be the challenge in 2025 for the Cincinnati Bengals. And now, the final team is the Cleveland Browns. I have them as a 3-14 team. My biggest concern for the Cleveland Browns is their questionable quarterback play and underperforming wide receiver core. Off the field distractions, the whole Jerry Jeudy and Myles Garrett contracts, yes, they got signed, but Myles Garrett, guys, did request a trade. And if things start bumpy, you could see him want to get a trade yet again. 2 months ago, I had them as a 7-win team. After watching training camp and seeing the quarterback battle unfold, it is clearly this team is in trouble. The floor is 2 wins. The ceiling is 7. If everything somehow clicks, but the reality, guys, they are a 3-win team heading in for a rebuild. Kenny Pickett was supposed to be stabilized this position, but instead the entire quarterback room looks shaky. So my final standings, I had the Baltimore Ravens coming in at number 1 at 12-5. The Steelers come in at 10-7 at number 2. The Bengals are at 3 at 10-7. I said 10-2. I said 10-7 for the Steelers, 10-7 for the Bengals, and then the Cleveland Browns coming in at 4th place at 3-14. The biggest surprise, the Steelers becoming contenders yet again with Aaron Rodgers. The biggest disappointment, the Browns collapsing despite preseason hype. Guys, divisional outlook, this might be the deepest division in football with 3 legit playoff caliber teams with different identities. Defense, leadership, and healthy will define who takes the crown. So guys, in the comments below, give me your rankings. Give me your rankings of the AFC North. Who wins it? Who's in second? Who's in third? Who is in fourth? James Frank says, I told you they'd suck last year, and I'll tell you this again before the season starts. The Steelers will suck again. James, my man, slow it down, baby. Don't be hating on the Pittsburgh Steelers because they're better than your Cleveland Browns. And Old Man River says the Steelers will be a wild card team. I do agree. That is their MO. They're good enough just to be a wild card team and a one and done. Old Man River says the Ravens will be the number 1 seed. The number 1 seed overall in the AFC. I think that goes to the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills got a pretty easy, pretty favorable schedule. Derek says if Roger plays like someone woke dad up from a nap, game on. But if he treats misplays by players, they're like Karen, game over. True facts. Old Man says the Browns will be 5-12. And James says, just in case you guys forgot, Browns versus everybody. Browns versus everybody. Derek's standings are as followed. Baltimore Ravens 1st place. Cincinnati Bengals 2nd. Browns 3rd. Pittsburgh in 4th. And Old Man River says, I second that. Old Man River, how can you second that if you have the Pittsburgh Steelers as a playoff team? That means the Browns are a playoff team. That means 4 teams from the AFC North are making it to the playoffs. That is tough. James says the Browns will be 17-0. Ravens will be 16-1. Cincinnati, who cares in the Pittsburgh and Tomlin's 0-17. Well, James, right here, there's some flawed math here. Because the Browns cannot go 17-0 and the Ravens cannot go 16-1. If you want your Browns to go 17-0, the Ravens need to go 15-2. There it is. Common Room 3022 says Ravens will be at 12-5, Steelers at 11-6, Bengals at 9-8, and the Browns 3-14. I can get behind this. Common. I can get behind this. Old Member says Shador Sanders will be started by week 5. Old Man River, I think if Shador Sanders does start, it'll be after the bye will be after the bye week. And I believe their bye week was week 6, right? Week 6. Derek, you're right. Math ain't mathin', James. The math ain't mathin', James. But guys, it is time to get into a little Overreaction Tuesday. All right, guys, so with that said, every Tuesday, we travel across the landscapes, we see what's going on in the NFL world, and we determine if it's an overreaction or if it's an underreaction. We just slow it down, baby. So, as I go through the old Twitter machine, right, sitting on the pooper, I see that Justin Fields, guys, is top news. I see that Justin Fields is leading the storylines, guys, with the dislocated toe, with wearing the fake toe to, being QB1 in New York. But guys, it is Overreaction Tuesday here at Man Hour NFL Talk, and today's overreaction hits right here with the Gang Green Nation. So guys, with the first overreaction here on this Tuesday, guys, if Justin Fields isn't 100% all season long, the New York Jets are a full 4-win team. Guys, let's talk about it. Now, just yesterday, Monday, right here at manhourradio.com, we previewed the New York Football Jets 2025 season. I had them as an 8-win team. A group that shows a lot of promise, some growing chemistry and solid upside, but still missing a few pieces and before they can become a legit AFC playoff contenders. And then, boom! Justin Fields dislocates his toe. Justin Fields goes down to practice, gets carted off the field, what looks like to be a serious foot injury. Social media explodes. Fans are bracing for the worst. The same old Jets start trending, but the MRI comes back clear. No fracture, just a dislocated toe. Fields dodged a bullet, and it's already back on the field doing 11-on drills the very next day. Now, that's the good news. But here's the overreaction twist. Guys, what if Justin Fields never quite becomes 100%? What if the injury lingers and limits his mobility? The very thing that makes him special. Guys, let's get a reality check here. Let's be honest. This Jets offense is built on the idea that Justin Fields can extend plays, use his legs, and create magic when things break down. If you remove that from the equation, you're just taking away a quarterback. You are taking away the Jets' identity. Because behind Fields, it's not pretty. Let's just be honest. This isn't Aaron Rodgers waiting in the wings anymore, even with the Aaron Rodgers there, the Jets still are not very good. This is the Justin Fields show, for better or for worse. And while I think this team is better than it gets credit for, especially with that defense, we cannot ignore the truth. Guys, if Justin Fields is limping, hesitant, or playing at 75% all season long, that 8-win ceiling crashes fast. We're talking 4-5 wins, maybe even less, maybe a first overall pick. Guys, this is not an overreaction. There's no plan B. So is it an overreaction to say that they only win 4 games without a fully healthy Justin Fields? Guys, no, not at all. This is the fact in my book. This is not an overreaction. This team will go as far as Justin Fields' feet go, and that might just be the toe. How far can Justin Fields' toe take them? If he's not right, the season goes left fast. So guys, in the comments down below, do you guys think the Jets can win games if Justin Fields is not 100%, or is the team totally cooked without him full strength? Guys, subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, this is a live interactive show, so comment down below. Let's get into your comments and discuss your thoughts. The rest will be on IR. Old Man River, go to bed, brother. Old Man River says, I think he's going to be running for his life anyways. And you are 100% correct, Old Man River. Justin Fields will be extending the pocket a lot, a.k.a. rolling it, a.k.a. avoiding sacks, a.k.a. only having about 2, 3, 4 seconds to throw the ball as is. And a dislocated big toe, that is a big deal. That is a big deal. If you can't roll, if you can only run 75%, you're going to get sacked a lot. Going to be a long season. James Frank says, then my Browns send Kenny Pickett to the Jets for a 3rd-round draft pick. Whoa! Kenny Pickett for a 3rd-round draft pick after you're trading for a 7th-round pick? That's shit. James. I know you got a girl. I know you're happy. But man, right now you are crazy. Crazy. Derek says, once again, why the cart remember Lawrence's weakness last year? Again, why the cart remember Lawrence's weakness last year? I am not following you. I'm not following you, Derek. Alpha Rob says his toe healthy gets the job, gets the Jets 5 wins. And the Jets could be bad, but they could be good. James Frank says they're cooked without Justin Fields. Their season depends on Justin Fields. Their 8, 9 win, 10, 11 win season depends on Justin Fields' toe. James, we're on the same book, brother. We are on the same freaking book, baby. But guys, let's get into the next Overreaction Tuesday. It is Overreaction Tuesday here at Man Hour NFL Talk, guys, and today's overreaction is hotter than Arrowhead in September. And quite frankly, guys, it is hot. Guys, if the Chiefs wide receiver core isn't all together, the Kansas City Chiefs will be a 500 team. Overreaction or not? So, guys, that's the buzz right now. With multiple receivers limping off the practice field. But let me stop everyone right here. Guys, this is 100% overreaction. 100% overreaction. Let me dive into it and let me tell you why. Guys, Tuesday practice was a rough one for the Chiefs wideout. Marquise Hollywood Brown exits with the ankle injury. Andy Reid says, I don't think it's too bad, but we'll see. Sky Moore tweaked his hamstring yet again. And Xavier Worthy banged his head. And while that sounds minor, anytime you hear head injury, the red flags start to come out. So guys, 3 receivers are all expected to play vital roles in this offense, are all missing time in the middle of training camp. And of course, here comes the takes. Mahomes has no weapons. Chiefs can't win like this. It's 2022 all over again. Guys, let me put some stuff into perspective. Listen, I get it. The injuries are piling up and you worry. But remember that when everyone said that after the Tyreek Hill trade, the dynasty is done. Mahomes will be exposed without a deep threat. The Kansas City Chiefs will fall back in the pack. What happened? Patrick Mahomes went off, won an MVP, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and with Juju and MVS and the 6th-round rookie named Isaiah Pacheco. So let's be crystal clear. Patrick Mahomes is the system. He doesn't need Hollywood Brown. He doesn't need Xavier Worthy. He doesn't need Sky Moore. He doesn't need a full Pro Bowl receiving core to go 12-5 and win the AFC West. He just needs competent players and trust in the scheme. Guys, the reality is, yes, the current injuries to Hollywood Brown, Sky Moore, and Xavier Worthy are worth monitoring. I get it. But none of them sound long-term. And if the offense has even 2 of those guys healthy by week 1, with Travis Kelce still commanding the attention and Rashid Rice back, Mahomes will find a way. Guys, listen, they will be perfectly fine. This is an overreaction. Absolutely 100% overreaction. The Chiefs are not going 500 just because a few camp dings and bruises. Mahomes has proven over and over again that he makes everyone around him better. Now, if Mahomes goes down, that's a totally different story. But as long as 15 is on the field, the Kansas City Chiefs isn't just a winning team. They are a contender, period. So, guys, question down below. Comment down below. Do you guys believe the Chiefs need their full wide receiver room to be a legit Super Bowl threat? Or is Patrick Mahomes enough to keep this team rolling? Let me hear your thoughts and comments down below, and let's get into the comments. James Frank says, are y'all getting rid of Kareem Hunt? Every reports that I've seen that Kareem Hunt is on the chopping block. Yes. Sucks, but yes, he is on the chopping block. And Derek says, damn, we cut a guy for a forehead kiss? That's a rough week. That is a rough week. Derek says, but what if the Chiefs need Minshew? If Patrick Mahomes goes down, the Chiefs are a 500 team. Gardner Minshew is not it. Sorry. Take him back to Las Vegas, Indianapolis, Jacksonville Jaguars, wherever he's played. Get him out of town. Alpha Rob says, as long as they don't lose Chris Jones, they'll be fine. And even then, Alpha Rob. As Chris Jones is a very vital part of the defense, he takes plays off. He goes 100%, maybe 60, 75% of the time tops. If Chris Jones goes down, the defense will still be great. But at the end of the day, guys, it is what it is. But guys, that is going to be it for today's Man Hour show, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, this is live, raw, uncut NFL talk. We'll see you guys tomorrow as we break down the AFC West. Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, LA Chargers, and of course the Las Vegas Raiders. Put some win-loss predictions on some names. Until then, guys, we are out.
Hey, now we live, Man Hour NFL talk, yeah. Now we live, Man Hour NFL talk. This is the show that you want. NFL raw and uncut, keeping it live. Gotta turn it up louder and get it ready for the Man Hour, yeah. Man Hour NFL talk. Let's go.